many of you have finished your background already, so when you're ready, you can pick up your tray, come to the materials table, and gather what you need for your house. So while your background is drying, you can decide on the shape of your house. You're going to sketch it on your scrap piece of paper with the oil pastel. Just get a more or less idea of the size and shape and proportion. And then when you're ready, you can start to cut out the various different shapes. The roof, the doors, the windows. And you're welcome to revisit the materials table at any time. It could be even thicker, but you don't have to use thick paper or card. You can use card from a cardboard box. If I'd had more time, I would have cut those out. So please don't feel you've got to go and buy expensive cards. And then just to mention a little trick. Somebody asked how they could get their house behind the trees. So I just want to show you a little trick. So let's say if there's your house. You can cut a tree out and have it raised by sticking it on top of 2 pieces of cork. Okay, so it's obviously not stuck. So you stick your 2 pieces of cork down. It makes the tree a little bit raised, and you can actually create like a forest or trees in front of your house. And then just talking about the glues, what I do want to mention is the glue sticks are good for light pieces of paper, but if you use anything that's slightly heavy, like pieces of, the glass that I had, or tiles, then you're going to need to use a wood glue, and it will take time to dry. So just keep in mind that the paintings or the artworks will then need to be put on a flat surface and give them at least 24 hours before you lift them up, otherwise everything is going to slide off. Some people are a little bit unsure of what their home is going to look like, so I also want to mention that it is a process. If you start, sometimes it builds and it creates itself, and your house may end up looking quite different to what you originally planned. So set intention, but be open to change. That's the most exciting way to make art. So you've got an idea, but you don't want to be rigid and judge yourself if it doesn't come out like that. It's going to kind of grow and unfold as you play. The trick that I told you about with making the trees stand out, just keep in mind you can also do it for the buildings. So let's say if this was your art piece, you could put some of them on corks, and some of them could be standing out in front and others behind. So you can actually build like a semi-3D artwork. So once you've got your basic house design down, you can then start to embellish it and enrich it and decorate it using smaller items from the materials table, or you can draw into it using the oil pastels. So the smaller details come later. So you may want to add something shiny to your home, if it's a special home that's a fantasy home, or it's inspired, or perhaps it's got some metal finishes. You may want to add some glitter glue if it's something fantasy-like. Or you may want to add tinfoil. So just stretch yourself a little bit and try something that you perhaps have never done before. Maybe look with new eyes. If you would like to print over something, for example, this as an example of a house that's been printed over. I have put some bubble wrap, which you could cut into a shape and then possibly use the thicker white paint and paint onto the bubble wrap and print onto your image. Or You may want to use corks to paint onto the cork and to create some little circles. Or you may want to do the illusion of printing with oil pastels. So you could do personal symbols that link the background with the foreground as designs over your home or your house. I'd just like to talk a little bit about glue. The glue sticks are good for papers, magazines, and light things. Wood glue is good for heavier things, such as medium weight buttons or light wood chips or corrugated card. If you can afford it, there is something called No More Nails, and it is a stronger glue. And although the wood glue does work with tiles if you put a lot of the glue underneath and leave it to dry, you might want to invest in a tube of No More Nails for those heavier things. It just stops that frustration of things falling off and people feeling like it's not sticking. So you've got those 3 levels of glue.